Well, hello everybody.
Hi,
This is Stephenie Meyer,
this is Megan Hibbett.
and we are doing a little non-podcast
Don't call it a podcast.
to talk about the playlist so that I can kind of share with you where my thoughts are on these songs and give you some more insight if you're looking for it. You don't need to look for it. If you don't want to, don't listen.
I think people are looking for it.
All right. Well, so we're going to talk about the songs on the playlist and kind of what they meant to me and why I put them where they were. So we'll start with sort of the song, the song that goes for the whole story, and that's Crooked Ways. And here's the intro for that. Just listening to that part gives me feelings.
It sounds like the beginning of a WB show, doesn't it? Like the very beginning of...
I don't think of it that way, but you know.
I mean that in a great way, but you know how much I love the old school WB shows.
Well, it does have a feeling of like something beginning, which works really well for the story. I did a whole post on kind of the history of this song. So I don't need to do that now, but I mean, just if you listen to the lyrics, the whole thing is very geared to Edward. It's written from his perspective. So there isn't like a need to explain which part is about him because
It's
all of it
about
is.
him.
Yeah, I've always loved this song. Just it's been with this story with me for so long. I do love the part about being married to the dark, all echoes of an ancient heart. I'm daggers and knives. Love it.
So good.
Love it. So it's a great song to kind of encompass most of the story. If you've read Midnight Sun, you know that Edward overthinks things a lot. And so
What?
a lot of these songs kind of come from different directions because there's so many different emotions that he's going through. But that one's a good catch-all.
I think it's cool that, too, it's been around for so long and nobody knew about it.
It's been frustrating.
Yeah.
Like when you have a song you really love, you can always say, oh, hey, go get this on iTunes, or hey,
Right.
here's a place to find it. Giving a sneak preview there of the next song. So let's talk about the next song.
Okay.
I'll do a little intro. It's a great intro. I want to get a little bit of his voice in here. Big Placebo fan.
That's One of a Kind by Placebo.
One of a Kind. And this has always been the first song on the playlist since I wrote that first chapter for fun and put it up on my website. It's got this, there's a coldness to it in a really good way, this emotional detachment. And I think that it does a great job of sort of showing Edward's emotional state pre-Bella, where he's kind of going through the motions. He's not involved at all in the people around him except for his family. I like in the lyrics it talks about how the top of the world is where I'm from, and the back of the class is where I was, keeping quiet, playing dumb, which is really what they all have to do. He talks about being in a crowd and still being alone, which is more for Edward than almost anyone. He's always in a crowd in his head. And he talks about he's one of a kind, and he knows it. You know, he is singular. And he really sees himself as above everything, and that the arrogance comes through in that song too. So I've always thought it's such a perfect way to sort of frame his first day before lunch when everything goes to hell for him. Poor Edward.
Poor Edward.
And so this next song is about everything going to hell.
This is...
It's a great start.
I mean, it really sets the tone.
Well, there's, again, a violence to this.
This is Sick, Queens of the Stone Age.
Yes. And this is one I struggled listening to different music. How do you encapsulate the moment when Edward's world is destroyed? You know, he walks into a room. He has got a little mystery. Like he's had a little bit of something to think about. Here's this girl's mind I can't read. Okay. But then everything just destroyed.
Is his world destroyed or is his world beginning?
For him on that day, it's destroyed. He works so hard to not be a monster. And then all of a sudden, like, and he's never done anything as bad as what he thinks he's about to do. You know, he's killed a lot of bad people, but like a bunch of kids, people he knows, teachers, you know, and this girl he's barely met, but who's done nothing wrong. And murdering all of them.
It'd be hard to cover
this
up.
song, I feel like, kind of comes from, they could have covered it up. They know what they're doing. This song comes from the side of his monster, I think, because it's telling him, you know, lose the halo, don't need to resist. Over and over again, the song, don't resist, don't resist. And there's that driving beat of just like, and it feels like he was, you know, kind of being assaulted in that moment, you know, it's just attacking him, this need. And then even says Forever Midnight over and over again. It's like, oh my gosh, how did they know? It's great. Was very happy to find a song that I felt like could kind of do that moment.
Did you go looking for a song for that moment, or did you hear that song and then think, okay?
I did go looking. Most of the songs, I would say 90% of the songs on the soundtrack here, are songs that I heard and they made me think of the moment. And so then when I was making the playlist, I would say, oh, great, this goes here. Like Placebo goes that way. But Sick, Sick, Sick was one that I actually had to go looking for. And there's a couple places that we'll note in here where I didn't find a song. There are missing songs on the playlist. And so we'll get into that too.
So the next song,
let's pull that up. This one was not one I had to go looking for. It's always been an Edwards song for me, and it is Down In It by 9 Inch Nails.
It's so perfect.
I love this song. The story arc of this song has always felt, I mean, it feels like a story. He tells a story in the song, and people don't always, but I appreciate it when they do. And he talks about being above everything, and then one little thing pulls him down, and then he's down in the mess of, in this case, humanity, I guess. And there's a lot of pain to the process, which I felt like was super on point. And so the song talks about the process of kind of being reeled in and lost to that place he had where he was above everything. And the part that I think is the most heartbreaking to me is the lines where he says, I'll cross my heart, I'll hope to die, but the needle's already in my eye, and all the world's weight is on my back, and I don't even know why. What I used to think was me is just a fading memory. I looked him right in the eye and said goodbye. I mean.
Can I also say, we talk a lot about people's gateway books, like the book that got people into reading.
Yeah.
I will say that this song was my gateway into 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, it was mine too. This was the first song I really loved of theirs. That, well, if you can tell a story in your song, if you can make me see things in my head, then I'm yours.
The next one is a missing song.
Let's talk about the missing song here.
It's for the, I have written down missing van song.
Yeah, so I have a song, the next song, which is kind of the aftermath of the van, but like the actual part of the book where he's standing there, hopeful, kind of, I'm going to talk to the girl, and then everything, then again, out of the blue, everything's destroyed, and he has to make, well, he doesn't even have time to make a choice. He makes a choice subconsciously to put his family in danger while protecting her. And then everything's just going wrong, and the van keeps coming. And I haven't found, there is humor to that section.
Yeah.
Along with all the, alarm. But I didn't ever find a song that I felt like really did that for me or made me think of that moment.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows a good one,
send it in.
Hit me up, man. So the next one is a Muse song. Everybody knows how much I love Muse. And this song sort of fits in like right after the accident, in the hospital after the accident, where he's just trying to figure out what the heck he just did. Like, what do I do?
What have
now?
I done?
Yeah, so I'll play a bit of that.
So dramatic.
It is dramatic.
Muse,
Edward is dramatic.
True.
But this also has a bit of, there's that's I don't know, there's something wrong with, in the song, like there's like a disaster about to happen. You feel a little, it makes me a little
on edge.
A little on edge, exactly.
That's Map of the Problematic.
No, Map of the Problematic.
Oh, sorry.
It's it's a made-up word, so we can say it however we want.
I think I spelled it wrong.
And the first line, fear and panic in the air.
It's so perfect.
But the part that really gets me is kind of him talking about, I refuse to let you go, which there's part of him that even though he's saying, I've got to leave, I'm ruining everything, I've got to leave, there's the part that will not.
Yeah.
And then the main theme is just, I can't get it right since I met you, which is
so accurate.
Yes, because he keeps doing things wrong by his, Bella doesn't think he ever does anything wrong, but for him, everything is a misstep.
Right. Because every time he thinks he's making a good choice, then something else happens. The universe,
The universe is not letting him make a good choice.
Poor guy.
All right, so the next song is kind of funny. It doesn't fit with the general tone of the rest of the music. I mean, there are different sounds, but they all feel like a different facet of one. This one feels a little different. I'll play just a little bit of this, if I can. Already a different energy.
Yeah. But still, it's a little chaotic. It sort of fits in with the theme.
So that one's a little bit more upbeat though in some ways, and the song is more upbeat. And I call this my denial song.
Yep.
Because the lines like, this does not shift me. It's not the kind of thing that I like. This does not get to me because she's not the kind of girl that I like. He has 6 weeks about of pretending not to notice that Bella is there. Meanwhile, of course, watching every little thing she does. But trying to convince himself, he knows Alice has shown him that he's going to fall in love with this girl. No, no. And I feel for him because as a vampire, he knows that once he falls in love with her, it's over.
It's
and
done
he never
for.
gets another chance. And while he wasn't looking for love or thinking that he was missing love, can you imagine how terrifying it would be?
Yes.
To figure out that I'm going to love the wrong person.
Yeah.
And it's going to ruin my life.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And that he could kill her at any moment.
Oh yeah. And then how do you live
with
that?
yourself? You don't.
How do you live with that?
You go straight to the Volturi. That's what you do.
Well, he's not there yet, but yeah. So that's our little denial song, which is I don't know, it's kind of fun because it's so futile, and they know it in the song. They can tell. Guess what? If you're already there, you're already there.
You're
man.
already
There's
there.
nothing you can do.
Too late now. All right, this is the last song for our
last song for this little clip
section.
that we're going to do. We're trying to do this in bite-sized pieces, so you don't have to spend quite so much time
listening.
All right, so let's play a little bit of this one. Already we're back down a little bit.
God, I love you, Collective Soul.
This is Not the One by Collective Soul, which is a gorgeous song.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's always been on the list. This is the last song also. These are some old timers. It's just, this is the realization kind of right before he breaks and lets Bella see that he's paying attention to her. It's him realizing that no matter how her future goes, he's not a part of it. And kind of imagining her marrying somebody, hopefully not as obnoxious as Mike, but like having a life, and it doesn't include him. And even though he's not really ready to acknowledge that specific pain, it's very much already there. And so this is his sad, I'm not the one.
So good.
Beautiful song. So we will do the rest in another batch, but that is the first part of the Midnight Sun playlist. I hope you enjoyed listening to us ramble.
Thanks.